Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody today? Did everybody get food? I know we had a little break in the action on the food table, so if you didn't get something, go back. It's fine. There's plenty out there. So anyway, thank you for coming. Shane and I decided that either you guys had a lot of really good questions for us, or you were here to completely roast us. So we don't know which way it's going to go. But anyway, so new to the breakfast, stand up if this is like your first Concepts breakfast. Come on, where you at? Yes. Are you up because of the baby? You're just kidding. Thank you, welcome. We appreciate that you came. As part of this, wanted to, where's Eric? Eric, do you want to say like hi real quick? Talk about your name change a little because it's still like, you know.
Oh, sure.
Just say hi real quick.
Hi everybody. HMS National Home Warranty is now Cinch.
Yes.
C-I-N-C-H. A lot of you are familiar with my card because doing the raffle, most of you didn't have a card. So you used mine. So Cinch Home Services.
Call me if you need a card.
And I have a drawing. We're doing that now, or do you want to do it at the end? Or?
We can do it now if you want to.
All right.
Is everybody in? Everybody in?
Everybody got their card in?
Drop it in now or forever hold your peace. All right. Get one out of there.
Oh, you're going to pick.
No, well, no, I don't have to. Have Shannon pick. She's,
What if I pick my own?
then
I
you
know what my
decide
card
that-
feels like.
Yeah.
Like I've got to really.
Well, then you're really in trouble.
can't-
You're all good.
I know. I picked my own.
What is it? No, not this one. No, it's Seth Walker.
All right, two more.
Two more. Okay, 2 more.
Three more. It's a big crowd.
It's a big crowd. We're going 3 more. Maria Torres. Yay!
Come on.
Yeah, first breakfast. She's coming back next month for sure. Canberra. There she is. Good job.
First one's in, so dug nice and deep. That's good.
I'm just gonna like whatever pops in.
That's my card.
Very.
Eric Bush.
Yeah. No.
Tammy Heckard.
Demi, yay! She's a big winner.
Big winner. Very good. I'll get you both.
Okay, perfect. Maria. Where's Maria?
Landmaster variety.
Landmaster, I'm sorry.
There's more than one, you gotta say. She's on the phone.
She's on the phone.
Okay, you present it. They want to show a video.
So
yeah. It's just a video, right? Yeah, Madison. Madison's gonna do it.
Okay, Madison, you do it. You do it, because you know all about this.
I get to talk.
There you go.
Do I get a
Oh,
microphone?
you get to talk. Oh, this is a
Do I
bad
need a
idea.
microphone? I don't know.
Yeah, go.
Okay, so in December, Concepts Cares worked with the Iowa Wolves. We worked with them throughout the year for tickets and all that good stuff, but we also worked with them to give back to the Yes Shelter, and then as well for kids that are selected that are just in need, that wouldn't necessarily get a great Christmas, that are just kind of falling on harder times. So we take over Shields and we give them gift cards to buy whatever they want. So we take over the whole store, and we've got a little video to show the fun times we had. And someone's gonna make that play, I think. I don't have the power.
Hopefully.
year we worked with the Concepts Cares Foundation, Wolves and Shields, to put together this holiday surprise for families in need here locally, and it's just kind of grown from there. So moving to watch the look on the kids' face and the change of their expression when they realize it's something just for them, the surprise that maybe a way to bless them at Christmas time that they wouldn't have had otherwise. So it's really meaningful to be a part of this, one of our favorite times of the year.
You can't write these moments, you know. You can only wish and hope for a lot of kids to have something like this in their life around this time, and so that's amazing to give back in any type of way you can, especially during the holiday time. It's happy times for everyone, it should be, and to be able to put a smile on these kids' faces and parents' faces is an amazing thing to do.
We're put on this earth to have bigger meanings than just thinking about ourselves, and this is part of it when it comes to the holidays. It's amazing when you see kids who are that age and they have experiences that they'll probably remember something like this forever. It puts everything in perspective for us, being in a professional sport, how much of a difference we can make.
Okay, awesome. That was wonderful. Thank you for that. And Sarah, where's Sarah at? There she is. Sarah is our director of marketing, and so she's going to give us a little update on some marketing stuff. Yes.
Good morning, all. It is so nice to see all of you here this morning. For those of you who aren't very familiar with what we do here from the marketing side of things with Remax Concepts, we have another division that we started this last year called Creative Concepts. Creative Concepts is a paid marketing program that allows you to do just about any kind of print marketing or other projects that you're looking to do and get some help with. We can do everything from custom graphic design projects to you name it, database assistance, we can do it all. Every single month we do put together a monthly mailer that we can send out to your sphere or to a list of people that you'd like to add. It's $1.25 per piece, and that includes everything from printing to postage, just to keep in touch with those, whether they're past clients or on your sphere list. So it's $1.25 per postcard, printed, mailed out the door. All we need from you is just a CSV file of your contacts, and we take care of the rest. We also do just listed, just sold cards. We can do special cards for open houses. We've done special listing flyers. If you have a need, that's what Creative Concepts is here for. So do reach out. We do have something, you'll be seeing it posted on First to Know later today, as well as sent out by email. We want to make a calendar postcard available to all of you. It'll be $1.50 per piece, and that is printed, mailed, and out the door as well. It'll be branded with your information, your picture, your slogan, anything that you want on there. You'll get a proof of it before it goes to print. And again, those are just $1.50 out the door. They're just as large as the postcards that we send, if you're familiar with that. And so that will be a magnet inserted in an envelope and mailed. So watch for that information. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact Madison or myself. And thank you.
Thank you.
I just wanted to do a quick offices update on some of the logistics coming up with Urbandale and Windsor Heights and Waukee. Prairie Trail is open and functioning. We just want to continue to add some art and things to the wall. Windsor Heights, we're updating, a few things as we start digging into areas of the building. Waukee, some might have seen, we did our construction walkthrough the other day. We anticipate that to be done and ready to move in on the 20th of this month. So Urbandale agents going to Waukee will start to move then. Those going to Windsor Heights will start to move at that same time. We will then look to move the rest of Urbandale to Windsor Heights as far as equipment and things like that. And then Urbandale will close at the end of January once everybody's relocated. And then the staff is actually going to remain at Vista for right now until we get all their spaces set up for them at Windsor High, or Windsor Heights, not Windsor High. So anyway, so if people have been asking, where's the staff at right now, they are at Vista until you are further notified. So if you have any questions, let us know. On that note, since I already have the microphone, I will introduce Danielle, who is going to be the moderator of our panel today. So give her a hand.
I'm super disappointed that I didn't think about the roasting part of it, because it's
Sure
still
someone-
something I would do. So.
I'm sure someone did.
Well, yeah, I'm sure. Well, they didn't help me out with
I
this,
don't
so
know.
I'm not going to roast you today, but maybe the next follow-up one we can work on that.
Okay. Well, let's start with Ooh since he's late.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. No,
Where's your roller skates?
Who's
That's
gonna
better.
join us apparently?
Yeah. I was part of a focus group about, 2 months or so ago, and one thing we were talking about was the value that we saw in RE/MAX and the things that we could offer. And these four, in my opinion, are a huge value proposition that we have and we're lucky to have. And I thought that if we sat down and asked them some questions, and you guys could also ask from the audience there, we can learn a little bit about them and just improve our knowledge and know who we have, who's behind us, and who lets us do what we do every day. You guys ready? Okay, so each just kind of go through each of you and talk about how many years you've been in the business and what was your very first job.
Oh gosh. This is my 25th year. I started when I was 18. I only had a few jobs before that, actually. My very first job was at Subway on Fluor Drive.
Say your name.
I'm Matt Mauro, by the way. And then I worked for a trucking company, most high school, TMC Corporation, which my buddy and his family owned and still own. And graduated high school, knew I wanted to invest in real estate, knew I wanted to own property, and I thought I should probably get licensed and learn the ins and outs of it, and then how life just kind of has its own way of taking you places. Here I am.
Shane Torres, I've been 10 years. My first job was detasseling. I went to high school in south central southern Iowa, borderline Missouri.
Says it all.
No offense to anyone from Missouri.
Is anyone from Leon, Iowa? Leon, ever been there?
If they probably wouldn't admit
You
it.
drive by it.
Jamie?
I've been there. I just have family that was in Leon and Milano.
So you know.
I do.
Yeah, Shane has a little bit of a southern draw to him if you talk to him long enough. Meksay, I have been licensed since 2006, so this will be my 14th year. Did I do my math right? I was telling someone earlier, I flew in, I was in Florida the last couple of days and flew in, landed about 1 a.m. this morning. So I'm on 3 hours of sleep, so don't hold anything against me. My first job, I was in 3rd grade. We grew up on the northeast side of town, and my parents thought it'd be a great idea for me to help support the family, and so I was a paper boy. 3rd grade, I used to wake up and about 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning and help my dad. It was myself, my dad, my brother, and my sister, and somehow my sister, she's the oldest, somehow she got out of it. So here I was, a 3rd and 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grader, delivering newspapers every morning. So that was actually pretty fun, other than mornings when it was really, really cold and I'd go to school and my socks would be a little wet and things like that. But I did love that job, but I was definitely, I think I woke up so early during that period of my life that it let me not wake up as early as that. So I retired from waking up that early. Now I just stay up that early.
Yeah, no kidding. Lance Hanson. I hadn't thought about it for a while. My very first job was as a caddy at Grandview Golf Course on the east side, and I lied about my age so I could caddy because I knew you could make like $6, $7 a day caddying, and so it was pretty amazing. And so I got to take that money home and then give it to my mom, because that's what we needed at that time. But anyway, my main job was construction. I did almost 20 years in construction. The last 18 of it was as a union iron worker in the Des Moines area. So when you see the big tall buildings like Ruan and Marriott and those downtown, those are buildings that I got to work. I'd say I built them, of course, but you know. So anyway, yours, it's either 33 or 34 years in the business. I've kind of lost track. I licensed in 1987, so whatever that number works out to be.
33.
Oh, 33, okay. So it was May, so yeah, here we are.
Here we are.
Do you still lie about your age?
Huh?
She said you still lie about your age.
Yeah, I say I'm much older than I am because then people think I look good for my age. Works, you know. So I'm 72. So, you know.
All right, hand it back.
I want the roast. Let's roast some people. Other than me. These three are fair game.
I think for agents that have been in it quite a while, and for the new agents, I think an interesting question would be how many homes or volume, whichever, or end, did you sell your first year in the business?
Good Lord.
I was licensed in October of 1995, so that first year, end of the year, I think the first year, 96, I only sold 9 houses. But in all offense, I was 19. You know, I really didn't know anything about anything. And yeah, 9 houses.
And tell us your best year too. So your first year and then your best
My
year.
best year, I think it was 2015, 2016, I think close to, I think it was a little over 18 million. So it's taken me a long journey to get there, but yeah. I guess, and again, I never really got into the business to try to represent the public. I thought I was just gonna buy and sell houses all the time and just kind of be my own client. That was the plan. But, you know, life has its way, you know. Yeah, so, but yeah, I got better as I got older and I had more confidence and more knowledge and then kind of put myself more out there, you know, started to work harder and be more focused. 2.
That makes me feel better, actually.
Yeah, two. GCI, I think, was like, I don't know, 8,000 or 9,000. It's pretty setting on fire. Actually, interesting story on that. It was on 13th Place, which is straight over from my old house. And, you know, watching all the TV shows and stuff, I figured you got to dress fancy to be in real estate. So I was all dressed up over there showing this house, and there's this huge beehive. I'm like mid-July, sweating through everything, trying to fight off these bees. So yeah, that was fun. Best year individually was just under 22 million with admin. Team-wise is 43 million, something like that.
I had to calculate. I'm not even sure. My first year was 2006. I got licensed in July. I do remember the amount of money I made. So I think it was about 9-10 homes. Actually, my first partner, who is not here, was Chris Rinaldo. So I will tell you, when I first started, this is a story I like to joke about, but there was a builder at the brokerage I was at that was interviewing, and they said they wanted an agent with at least 2 years experience, and they wanted a girl. And somehow I got in the interview. It was like me and
That's perfect.
Yeah, me and 11. Jen here, somebody.
No, she's on vacation.
They call me the mom here for our newer agents. But anyways, so 2 years, and they wanted a girl, and somehow I sweet talked my way into the development. So my first partner ever though was Chris Rinaldo. So a lot of you guys know Chris, awesome guy. But I think that was it, 9, 10, something like that.
And your best?
My best, that's a great question. Even though my official board title is treasurer or something like that, and even though, I get stereotyped for being a numbers person, sometimes I forget what my best year is. So I'd say 4 million, 3 million, maybe, times 4,
Yeah,
or 5.
Stereotype.
So,
I roasted myself.
Yeah.
Someone's got to get roasted up here.
Yeah, I quit as a union iron worker. I think I was making about $33,000 a year, and I quit that. And my wife was terribly impressed because my first year, I started in April. But my first year I made $9,000. So she was very excited about my new career. So and then I think best year, I don't know, somewhere close to 200,000 of commission. So I've never been a big dog. But,
It's a big dog. Tomorrow's big.
Huh?
Tomorrow's big.
That was a
big.
good year. It was fun. But yeah, it was, so I don't know volume in units because I never tracked that. I always looked at bottom line.
I'll tell you this though, 38,000 in 1939 is.
Yeah, that's good money. Good money.
We need more of those type of jokes. Let's roast.
Yeah. What are the biggest challenges that we face as a brokerage or that you face as the brokerage leaders?
Biggest challenge?
Ooh, we went right into a serious question.
Yes.
I thought we were
Mix
gonna
it
like.
up.
Okay.
All right.
The biggest challenge. I didn't think about that one. What's that?
We'll give it to Lance. Lance is
Yeah,
ready.
you don't have to
Lance,
go.
yeah.
I can go.
Lance said he's ready.
Go ahead, let me think about that. Let me give a thoughtful answer.
For this is my personal opinion. Obviously we didn't consult one another. I think when you have a company in general, but one of this size, from independent contractors to staff, just dealing with everybody has a different personality, and we try our very best to make everybody happy, but it's not possible. So that is it's a daily challenge.
I think mine would be misinformation, both about us as a company and then about other companies. There's so much out there that it's like sales pitches and the truth's not told. So I think that's the biggest thing for me, is just misinformation, and have people go, ask a question about something, and I'm like, that's not even true. So, I mean, there's lower cost, lower price, those kinds of things. And sometimes it's sold, at initial price and not final cost. I guess that's the best way I can say it.
Back to you.
Well, if I had to be completely honest, true to me, I would say losing an agent is the biggest challenge for me.
Perfect.
We value every single one of you, and it's impossible to, obviously, a company this size, you have people coming in, and every now and then you're unfortunate and you lose people, but it's like getting broken up with. We've all been broken up with, but that's what it feels like. I mean, honestly, that's what it feels like, and it's tough. Like, you never get used to it. You never get numb to it. I wish you could, and it's just because it is part of the business, but we all care so much about what we're doing, and all you guys, that's what it feels like.
I'm actually going to add to that real quick. That is very true, and since we all have different personalities, we all process it differently and get past it differently. Some it takes longer than others. I'm fortunate in the fact that I've created a method to get as best as can, but I've always said, if it ever stops hurting when that happens, we probably should quit doing it.
Great answer, guys. What was the
follow
question
that.
again?
Biggest challenge.
I'm on the
Biggest
East
challenge
Coast.
is paying attention.
3 hour biggest challenge, and it's for the brokerage or for.
Yes, brokerages.
Will we get to the challenges of an agent later?
Yeah.
Brokerage.
This is about
Okay.
this is us.
I think the biggest challenge for me, but it's a fun challenge. I think we're just back up 257 for agent count and 43 for staff count. And so, 300-ish individuals that we all love and respect and adore. So the biggest challenge, which is also the biggest opportunity, is just making sure that we get to sit face to face with you and have a lunch or a coffee or have a chat, and remembering spouses and kids' names, and I'm like way short on sleep, so I'm trying to do math in my head. But someone help me out with this. So 250 agents, 50 weeks a year. That's 5 agents, that I try to see or visit and try to hang out with and get to know better and to help and to be there for. So I think the biggest challenge I have is the best opportunity, because we get to build some awesome relationships. It's more than just, business. Like, if I was here sitting up in front of you and you guys were just agent count and production and numbers, that would suck. That would not be what I signed up for. I signed up for helping people, getting to know them, investing in our agents, making sure everyone knows that your goals are our goals, and it's fun, it's a blast. And I am pretty proud when I can go, like, for instance, like the movie day, where I can say hi to the spouses and remember the names and remember the kids, or like, hey Erica, how you doing, Justice? So it is fun. But don't call me out though. So if you bring your spouse to an event and say, "Ooh, what's my husband's name?" or "What's my 4 kids' names?" They're somewhere in there, but I try very hard.
I will say, everybody does have a process of losing agents. I usually flog myself, and I find the pain at least works, but...
Wait, what's flogging? What is that? That sounds inappropriate. That sounds super inappropriate.
I know you all have your specialties, and depending on what answer I want or what kind of problem I've gotten myself into will depend on which one of you I call. And you probably each think that you have, your own specialties too. So I'm interested for you to tell us what you think your specialties are as a leader. One thing I know that was really good at, he's met with our group about business audits, like knowing where your leads come from and how do you structure your year to improve and make sure you're maximizing your efforts where you should. Or new construction consulting with builders, etc. I think it's important for us to know as a group that those sides of you and know that it's important. I know it's important for you guys for us to reach out for those things too.
Yeah, I mean, it's been said that I'm kind of the brother of the group, like I'll, tell you everything's gonna be okay. And Shane's the dad of the group, he's probably gonna scold you. Who's the mom of the group? He's gonna ugly cry with you and like hurt you.
I need to record myself when I'm crying. I want to see how ugly this is.
And Lance is the grandpa of the group. He's probably going to give you like, in my day, we didn't need help. We just did it. But I think what I bring to the table is just personal relationships. I think that's what I do with my clients really well. I'm not a very systematic guy. I never will be. I just build one relationship at a time, and I try to maintain them through a system of my own. But that's kind of what I'd like to have with all of you guys too, is my own personal relationship with you. So when it comes to, I think we're in a personal relationship business. We're in a high contact business with those relationships, that everything we do, whether it's online leads or whether it's working your sphere or doing open houses, everything boils down to building and maintaining relationships. And that's what I think I do well.
I don't say that I have any specialty, but I think what people call me the most on is for management type things and systemizing, if you will, no matter really what the topic is. I found that I've been pretty good at figuring out, taking something that we want to accomplish and putting a system behind it. So a lot of my role in any entity is managing the systems that then manage the people. So that is what I would say for me.
I'm not ready.
Okay. I'm what is affectionately known up here as director of bullshit. So basically, if there's an issue, a problem with a form, if you need wording, help with those kinds of issues, if somebody's called you out on a problem, then I talk you through, work through the details of that to try to get you on the right track, try to keep you out from in front of the commission in some cases. And so that, just all the form stuff, the issues, the problems, the kind of legal side of the business, even though I'm not an attorney, I have to say that every time. The other side is I do an awful lot of reading and study, and when we go to the different conventions and stuff, is to study, I know this is hard to believe, Matt, but to study technology and see what's coming up, what's the latest, how can it be used by agents, and how it will make a difference in agents' life. So that's my alter ego.
I actually, real quick, because this is kind of ties into this and it might be a question, so I apologize if I jump ahead. So real quick, so 2019 was growing for us personally, if you will, and we realized at one point that not everyone can do it all. So we segmented our roles in between the 4 of us, and some of you don't know what that is, so I will go through that real quick. Like Lance said, he's compliance and if we have someone in trouble, getting sued, anything like that, that's, he's going with them. Earnest money disputes. I handle operations and just management of working with the head staff and to make sure things are a streamlined process. And these two share between meeting with you guys and honestly helping with bringing in new agents. So that is, we have newer people say, well, what do you do? Who do I go to? You can come to anybody, but that's what we do.
Lance loves his role of director of VS, so if you do have a situation that's a little sticky in a deal, so as much as he loves it, I'm the opposite of those things. But I love helping, and I always try my best, but there are certain times where, we need Lance to make sure that the I is dotted and the T is crossed just perfectly. What was the question?
What's your specialty?
Oh, what's my specialty? Sorry. My specialty is being positive, I think. Trying to motivate everyone, trying to inspire you. I've always been a dreamer. I've always daydreamed. I've always thought things were not too big for us to accomplish individually or as a team. So if there's a vision of grandeur, I think that's my specialty, but then also I think I can help plan those dreams and organize those dreams and give ideas on how to lead and control those dreams. I love solving problems. I love when people say, ooh, that's impossible. How am I gonna generate this or do this in that amount of time or figure that out? That's one of my favorite things, is to look at life as a checkers game or a chess game or a Rubik's Cube and just, work backwards. Sometimes we have to reverse engineer things.
I'll take it back when you're done.
Okay. I was really into something, and then Lance. What was the question?
Rubik's Cube. Rubik's Cube.
Oh, Rubik's Cube. Dave?
I apologize. How fast can you put a Rubik's Cube together?
I haven't done it. I've never. Well, okay, so now I'm gonna out myself. I put 2 sides together, but I've never put all 4 sides together. But checkers, I can kick my kids' butt in checkers. And they're 8 and 11 and 13, but I will school them in checkers. Sometimes I let them know. But no, I love being a motivator. As a mom, I can pick you up when you need it. I can coddle you when you need it. I can tell you everything's gonna be all right, even though we're in a big heap of trouble. I'll never ever judge you. Being a mom. Is this recorded, Madison, by the way?
Yes.
Okay, cut that out. Well, no, keep it. As a mom, I was very lucky to have a great mom, and I'm very lucky to be married to a great mom, and just unconditional love. And that's the thing I think this world needs more of. Not being so judgmental. Everybody makes a mistake. I make at least a dozen mistakes a day, probably, if I were to add it up. And so just being there for you guys, to talk you through things. We're not in a life or death situation, knock on wood. Everything that we come across as a challenge, whether it's a financial challenge or a lead generation challenge or whatever it is, everything can be figured out with the right ideas and the right execution and implementation. But I love motivational. In another life, I think I was like Tony Robbins or Dale Carnegie or Jim Rohn or something like that.
Jim Kiss.
Sorry, Lance, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to say that one of the other things that I really love to do is with agents, when you're struggling with that real internal motivation, your why in life, then I love to sit down with people and talk through that. It's interesting for me, and just helping people find what's really inside that makes you tick and makes you do what you do, and some find that helpful.
Since U brought up mistakes and all the mistakes he makes on a daily basis, we all know on the other side of those mistakes that's where the good stuff really starts to happen. So let's talk a little bit about your biggest mistake or regret that you've made in the business.
Lord. Just getting into
It's been a
this.
little.
No, I'm kidding. You know what? I think my biggest mistake was thinking that I was too young to be taken seriously, and I wasn't focused. I could have been doing more at a younger age. I could have been more focused at a younger age. I always, where I sit down with people, I say there's like two halves of my business life. There was the first 10 years when I just wasn't as focused as I should have been, and then there's, last 15 years where I really settled in and kind of came into my own. And I used unnecessary, I put barriers in front of me that really didn't exist. They were, my own barriers of why I wasn't achieving what I should have been achieving. And I think we do that sometimes, when they're not there. It just takes, like Lou says, takes the right mindset and the right plan, the right implementation. But I put those in front of me, and they never really existed. They were all in my mind, and I could have been doing better.
Hard growing up.
Yeah.
I honestly have made too many mistakes to count or know which one's the biggest, but I will say that I would not change any of them just because it led to me to where I am today, and I have learned from it. I've been frequently quoted as saying I am a wealth of what not to do, so if you want to know something not to do, come talk to me. But in a prior life when I was a builder, I had my priorities very wrong in how I approach things compared to today. And if I hadn't gone through all those trials and tribulations throughout that time period, I would not have the priorities that I have today.
Okay, I wrote down the question, mistakes, and I wrote down answers. Some of you guys that know me, if you sit next to me in a training, I love taking notes and writing things down. I love to journal because, when you have all of us, right, we have so many things coming into our mind, ideas, thoughts, to-dos. For me, as I've gotten older, I understand that I need to write down and formulate and then go back to my notes. So the first one is going too fast. Sometimes in life, as real estate agents or as parents or whatever your role is at that time, sometimes we go too fast and we don't think things through. We make knee-jerk reactions. I tell clients and agents all the time, take it easy. Rome wasn't built in a day, so we just have to make sure that we're just thorough when we are doing whatever we're doing at hand, whether it's taking a client through a house or a listing agreement. Just not going too fast, not talking too fast. Now, sometimes I talk too much, which I'm doing right now. The next thing is, back to, there's a good and bad about being a dreamer and being ambitious and being, goal-oriented. And sometimes more is more, and more is more and more and more. I want more. But the old adage, less is more, is something that I've really learned from. If I were to count how many entities over the last 10, 14 years I've been into, it's a lot. And so what I've really wanted to do this last year, as we've individually grown, like Shane said, is, what can I cut out so I can focus on the things that I love to do, the things that are vital to myself and my family. So that's one mistake that I've learned from. Getting emotional, this is 3 out of 4 by the way. Getting emotional, I cried when we announced Jerry and Sandy's retirement, and I think that's an okay thing, but I guess the more part about getting emotional is sometimes I get really mad. I grew up on the east side of town, so you kind of had to be tough and know when to get in a fight, growing up, you knew when you had to defend yourself, you knew when to, yell back, and so sometimes I try to be more calm, but there are times where I just try to not be so hot-headed. And so there is a side of me that gets real angry, and the side I don't like, I see red and I internal rage and I don't like it. So that's definitely a mistake that I make. And then the 4th mistake that I feel like I've made as an agent is not valuing the relationships. So as you want to grow big and you want to go fast and you want to achieve these unit goals and these volume goals, you forget about the relationships that you have with your friends and your family members. Next thing you know, you don't get invited to as many birthday parties or events. Next thing you know, you haven't seen your best friend since 3rd grade this year at all. And so, relationships are important, but also from a business standpoint about relationships is, who were the clients that I helped by my 1st year, my 2nd year, my 5th year, my 8th year, and what are they up to and where are they at? And the thing that kind of stinks is when they think that you forgot about them and you bump into them at Costco or at an event, you're like, hey, ooh, do you remember me? you helped me buy my house in 2011. And it's always the worst. I'm like, shoot, Heather Tucker, you know, and we should know those, you know, we should know those individuals that helped us, you know, with our businesses. And so that's the key thing, and that's why we've done so much coaching and so much preaching on relationships. We don't need to know thousands and thousands of people. I mean, if we know 200, 300, 400 people decently well, that's all we need to know. So that's all I got.
Nope. Wait.
Lane still has to go.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Last time you went, then I went. Okay, I'm sorry.
There you go. I think the single thing that I would bring up that would be of value to most of the people in the room is fear. Fear of failure, fear of challenge. Those things have been the bane of my existence for most of my real estate career. And because of that, my regret would be that because of that, I didn't jump in and grow and work and do all those things and monetize the things, the knowledge that I had. So that would be my caution, is fear, because it stops you, it keeps you from moving forward. Failure is always an option, but it's not an end. So don't fear it.
That's a great one, Lance. I just want to add to that on the flip side, because I don't see or feel fear too much. I'm fearless, and I see that in one of my twins. Like, they love, I mean, he's just a risk taker and adrenaline junkie, and having fear, I think, could be a good thing too, because sometimes I know there's a lot of individuals that, you know, you don't think you're too big to fail, you're too cool to fail, but, you know, there's a happy balance there, so I like that answer.
They say that all great leaders have, or most great leaders, have a morning routine or have some sort of structure that you do, at least on the work day mornings. Make this a quick answer because I got a few more to get through, but do you have a regular morning routine?
Okay, I'll go fast.
No, I don't. I get my kids ready for school and get them breakfast, get them off to the bus, and hope they get on the bus safe. That's, you know, but I usually try to go into the office early in that first 2 hours, is try to set everything up for the week. You know, I'm not one of those early risers that work out in the morning. I'm not, you know, I don't sit down and chant or anything like that. I don't know, yoga poses. I mean, but I mean, if it works for you, I'm all in. But I'm just probably just a regular guy that gets up his kids ready. It's chaos. And I try to make the bed and clean up my bedroom. So when wife gets home, the rooms are clean, the house is somewhat picked up, and then I'm off, and then I'm focused on, you know, what I'm trying to accomplish, not just that day, but for the week, and make sure I make my touches that I'm supposed to make every day, and I try to get that out of the way in the morning. That way, when things creep into my afternoon and evening, like they all do, things that were unpredicted, it doesn't take away from that. That's probably it.
Yeah, so I have a very structured routine. You know, I said a little while ago that I have a way of dealing with things, and this is part of it. Most mornings, usually at least 5 to 6 days a week, I get up at 3:15. Usually throw my earbuds in right away. I do not retain things very well unless I listen to them, so I listen to a lot of things. I start with I have a Bible a day verse that I listen to, or a study of some sort. And then I will shoot a few emails. I'm sure some people have gotten some from me. Usually at the gym after the emails, I'm usually listening to a book of some sort. Right now it's David Cogden's Can't Hurt Me. If you haven't done, you should listen to that. Anyway, back to the gym by 5:30. I'm usually home by at least 6:45. Getting the kids up and help them get out the door by 8. I'm usually at some sort of an office by 8:15 at the latest, except obviously here, it's down here like 8:30 this morning. And that's my morning. And then I will go into, it's a totally different question, but I have a nighttime routine too.
Is that one of the questions, nighttime routine?
Nope.
Most people don't have that.
Does it include fogging? What is fogging?
No, it does not. Quick.
Okay, let's go. I know the question. I wrote down my answers, so I will be quick. So my routine it's actually an acronym that I got from Miracle Morning. Can't remember the gentleman's name that wrote. Someone say the name.
Hal.
Oh, Hal. Thank you. You told me that. I think you've answered me twice now on that name, the author. So, so the acronym is SAVOR. So, silence, which I'm totally opposite what Matt said. So silence to me is like meditation, just letting my brain reset, clear my mind, let it just be very mindful. I just focus on my breathing. And that's the first thing I do when I wake up is just, I'll sit up and I'll just be silent and meditate. And it's one of the best kind of feelings I have in the morning. And then the second thing is affirmations. I have a list of affirmations that I tell myself, kind of like the SNL skit. People do love you. You are nice. And I have different affirmations, but sometimes the motivator needs to be reminded, that he can do what he's telling other people to do.
That's hilarious.
Visualize. I love to have visions of what I want to do, who I want to become, what I need to do throughout the day. So a lot of times too, when I visualize, I'll look at my calendar and I'll say, oh yes, I need to be on this panel, or I need to meet with these agents, or I need to meet with some clients. So I visualize the meeting and how they're going to go and how I'm going to say what. And I learned this visualization a long time ago, actually, as a wrestler in high school. I used to visualize my whole wrestling match from the first move to all the way through the whole process. And it's one of those things that if you don't do those things, I would highly recommend trying, like visualizing how you're going to do things and be successful. The E in the SAVOR is exercise. So my body definitely needs movement, and I am the yoga guy, so I love yoga. If you're on Snapchat and you follow my wife, that is not true. So there's this, I watch, I don't know yoga that well, so there's YouTube videos, and one gal, she outed me on something. I just like her movements. So am I that's that bad.
Yeah, just
edit that out. Then reading and watching. So I love to read. I read all the time, and I love to watch like motivational, inspirational things. I feel that my mind is very moldable, like to new ideas. So your brain's like a rubber band. So the more you put into it, the more it stretches. It never contracts. It's a growing muscle, and sometimes by the things that I read and watch, I can definitely tell that it's affecting my overall outlook. So my front side of my brain is kind of what I try to focus on.
Not too long. Sure.
Wow. Man, I'm boring. I just take right up front. I get up, have a cup of coffee, do a little bit of exercise, and then I look and see what is scheduled for the day and make sure I'm ready for that. And then my day also consists of lots of little surprises through the day, of phone calls and issues and things that I need to take care of. So I make sure there's plenty of time in there for that as well.
Yeah.
Your time for two. Go ahead.
Yeah. One thing that's been fun for me is my oldest son is 13, and he's starting to want to get more into working out and watching what he's eating. And so he's been going to the gym with me in the morning, so that's been cool. And honestly, look forward to it. So.
Do I have time for two more?
Yeah.
Okay. This is a fairly broad question, but one that was submitted is, what would your advice be for an agent that is discouraged right now?
Well, I want to know what the discouragement is, that everybody has different discouragements, but I would try to tell them to focus on the 5 most important tangents in life, whether it be, your faith, your health, your family, your friends, and then your business. If it's just a discouragement in business, I would focus, because this is what I do, but I would focus on the relationship side of the business. And let's see who are your biggest fans, who love you and want to see you succeed, and let's connect with them and see if we can't change your business and change things around for you. It takes a little while. Nothing's like a overnight pill of success. You have to keep banging on the drum for a while to see the payoff. But I know firsthand from not doing things the right way, not being focused, what that does, and waiting for manna to fall from the heavens. It doesn't happen. But if you do focus on relationships and have conversations and have coffees and go to networking events and those type of things, they really pay off. You just got to engage. So if any of you are discouraged out there, I would welcome the chance to meet with any one of you. I have met with a lot of you, and I would continue to do that. So just throwing that out there.
I agree with everything Matt just said. I also would say the thing that, in most cases, and it's most cases, obviously there's whatever exceptions. At the end of the day, there's far worse things that could be happening right now. In real estate and in just life in general, if you do what Matt said and you focus on those things that are important, your family, your health, your faith, it's amazing what you can accomplish. There's nothing that we do as trend setting or a secret. So you want to win, you outwork the competition because most people stop. That is what I would say to those.
Okay, if you're feeling discouraged, I wrote down a few things. I always try to remember the law of abundance. So I always say that, this last year I think there was don't quote me exactly, 18,000 buyer sides and 18,000 seller sides. So it's 36,000 transactions. If you take 2,000 plus agents, that's an average of 12 per deal, or 12 per agent. But also we've got to remember the 80-20 rule. But just remember that there's an abundance of opportunities, abundance of businesses. Every day a household is created. Somebody's paying off their student loan, or their kid's done with daycare. Households are being created. Millennials are the biggest generation that are now entering the buyer pool. They believe in home ownership. So, abundance. There's plenty of opportunities out there. Also, if you're feeling discouraged, the power of positive thinking for me has been very, very instrumental. Your brain is a magnet. It attracts what you put out there. And so sometimes you can put a lot of negative energy out there, and guess what's going to happen? The negative things happen. You manifested those things. But on the flip side, you think positive, you think things are going to happen and find their way, and just be positive. Even in the moments of deepest, darkest despair, just remember that positivity. But then also focus on activity. We can't dwell on the past. You can't change the past. And we can't worry about the future because the future isn't here yet, and we're creating that future every moment. So, but what we can focus on is the present, the moment of time that you have, and focusing on the vital activities that you need to do. And so a lot of times I'm doing these trainings and these coachings, we come up with 47 vital activities or a list of daily checklists, and just going off of that and figuring out that these are the things that I need to do. I can't control when the buyer's gonna buy, I can't control when someone's gonna want to list, I can't control when that house is gonna sell. Those are all lag indicators. The lead indicator though is how many people did I reach out to today? How many people did I check in with today? How many calls did I make? How many open houses did I schedule? How many appointments am I going on with lenders and different service providers? And then also if you're feeling discouraged, remembering why you got in this business to begin with, and remembering who you set yourself out to be when you chose the life you're trying to live, whether you're the matriarch or the patriarch of the family. And then also when I'm feeling discouraged, I like to write a list of all the things I'm grateful for, all the things that I have that money can't buy, all the things that I've done in my life that I feel proud of, and I review that list. I keep it right next to my bed and add to it, and just keeping that memory of the things I'm grateful for. That's it. Is that fast enough?
Yeah.
That's all right.
It's all right.
No.
I'll try to make it short and sweet. If something's going on in your life, if you're discouraged by business or anything else, call me. I will make time and set with you.
I'm going to add one tip, and this is another thing that helps me through my day. I do not follow the news. I unfollow anyone who creates drama on social media, and I have actually removed quite a few family members from my life. I don't have time for drama. I don't want to deal with it. So I live in a bubble. So.
Shoot away from your bubble. Would you say that?
Everything's fairytales and rainbows.
Okay, we'll close with give us each of your number one goal for concepts in 2020.
Number one goal for Concepts is probably to, we got a lot of new offices we got to fill. Windsor Heights, Waukee, Ankeny. So for my role from the company is going to be to help bring and attract the best talent and those things. And then, of course, helping you all reach your individual goals. that is my role with the company, and that's what I aim to do.
Agreeing with all that, my goal and role always is to make sure that you guys and staff, for those that aren't here, can achieve the goals that you want, meaning having the revenue you want, but you got a life to enjoy it, and not let the business suck the life out of you, because it will if you let it. And so that would be my goal.
I'm going to be very similar to what these two said. That is the number one goal I have. It's not for us, providing you individually value and ideas and our time and our energy and systems and marketing and training and the technology for you to hit your goals. If we can do that, I personally would love to see anyone that wants to grow by at least 20%. That's kind of the thing. We're going to talk about some dates for training here in a little bit, but 20% and 20% plus in 2020, I think that would be an awesome goal to see and help you all achieve.
Mine is to maintain and improve the back-end processes and the offerings of different types of apps, programming that you use to do your business better. So my focus is totally on just making it all better in the back end so that you don't have to worry about any of that.
I have more time than we thought. I thought we took out more time than that. Do you recommend coaching?
Yeah, I mean, it just depends. I'm not much of a rah-rah guy. Like, I get up on my own. I don't need someone to get up and tell me I'm special or you're gonna kill it today and stand up and, cheer, like that rah-rah stuff. I'm very self-motivated. So for me, coaching, I tried it just didn't work. Someone was telling me everything I already knew. So if I have to have someone tell me something I already knew, what is the point? Just be disciplined. And my word for 2020 is discipline. And we have so many things going on personally that, from a leadership standpoint, from an agent standpoint, and a family man standpoint, just being more disciplined so I can wear those hats better. But I wouldn't discourage you from getting coached. Some people need business coach, some people need health coaches, some people need that. Me personally, I just haven't, I listen to a lot of Audible books and things like that to inspire me and listen to those who have done. And to me, that's been enough so far. So I wouldn't discourage you from getting coached if that's the type of person you are. You need a little help getting motivated. Me personally, I'm very self-driven.
I agree with a lot of that. I believe that you should have somebody that's your person or people that you can go to for whether it's a pick-me-up or advice. Like Matt, I tried coaching, and what I got from it, the guy's great, love him, still talk to him regularly, but I didn't need it. I looked around, I have Matt, I have Boo, I have Lance, I have other people in this office who have been in this company, who have been in business far longer than I, that I can go to if I need any help whatsoever. So whether it's just us or somebody, yes, I think you should have somebody to go to.
I'm going to agree 100% with what Matt and Shane said. I definitely feel that everyone in this room, including the four of us, need coaching and need mentoring. The coaches need coaching. And so the key thing, though, is whether you pay for it or not. And before you pay for it, I would definitely love to talk to you all individually on whether that money is going to give you the return on investment that you're looking for. Because a lot of people try to sell coaching, and they sell it to the tune of a few $100 a month or $1,000 a month, and it gets very, very expensive. And guess what? I think the four of us here, whether it's the Ferries or the Robinsons or the Buffini programs, we've been there, done that. I still do take all their classes and watch their YouTube videos and get their emails and download their handouts. So I guess my answer is I believe in coaching, I believe in mentoring, I believe that we all need to have people to help us hold ourselves accountable. I believe in masterminding, but pay versus non-pay, it's definitely a agent by agent basis.
Coaching. Most coaching is accountability. And you can set that up, we can help you set that up. If you want it, absolutely. If it works, wonderful. But just understand what you're spending your money for. They're not going to enlighten you on a way to do business. They're going to give you tools that you do to make yourself more accountable and move forward. You'll take more notes, you'll keep track of things, all that. So if you need that, absolutely do it. If it makes a difference in your life, sure. I'm more along the lines of mentors and people who have either gone before you and done what you're trying to do, or they're successful at a certain thing, or you find a quality in them. I look around this room, I'm like, holy crap, who needs a coach? I mean, you're all amazing. And you're all open, and we encourage that if somebody calls and has an issue, you're like, absolutely, let's talk. And that's what we do. So there's a room full of coaches here, including the four of us. So I would suggest probably using that first.
How can we help with recruiting?
That's a good one. That's a good one. Well, we obviously all hope you enjoy being here, and you see, and I know every day we wake up, we're trying to make this the best place to work, that you get the most value here. When you look at the marketing, you look at the education and the mentorship and the offices, and of course the back end, the front end, everything to help process your business efficiently. We want you to look at what you pay the company and be like, I'm getting my money's worth and more. That's our goal. And we wake up every day trying to enhance all those arms that service your business and the tools that you can use and the technology that you can use to do that. If you feel that way and you're working with somebody who you're enjoying working with, right? I can't stress this enough that we value the person, the type of person you are before the production. And if we can teach the production is why. We can't teach you to be a good person. That's just inherent, we're not. But if working with someone who is a good person and you like doing business with them, and we want them here, bottom line. And if you can help make those introductions to me or Rue, because that's our role, we'd be forever grateful.
Fact is, we have always been quality over quantity. So like Matt said, just letting everyone know the things that you like and getting them in front of Ooh and him. We don't expect people to be recruiters. Just if you can be a connector, that would be awesome.
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing is making sure you yourself as an agent with concepts is happy with what we're providing, the tools, the tech, the training, the team support. Are you yourself all in on what we offer? And if so, that's awesome. And then if you're doing a deal with somebody and you think that person would be good at concepts or a fellow agent that's a friend outside of concepts, then a warm introduction is awesome. But I think outside of and that's a great question, outside of what you can do helping recruiting is more so asking yourself internally, am I happy with everything that Concepts is doing for me? And then being transparent with the things that you love and the things that you would like us to improve on and do better and do more. I mean, we're all four of us are so open, and this is, we started out as agents, so that's one of the cool things about Concepts. It's a agent-owned brokerage. We think like agents. We want to make sure that you guys have all the things that you can do to be successful in this business, and when you win, we win ultimately as a brokerage. And when we win as a brokerage, we all win, right? Because we can do more. And that's the one thing that I'll tell you is we never, not maybe Shane and Lance does this more than myself or Matt, but we never really look at the P&L statements and the bottom line as more so as the value of what can we do to help you guys and be happy here. So when I meet with, or when I do coaching with agents, the number one thing is, am I sold myself? Am I enthusiastic to be here? And I guess that would be the number one request I'd have, is to make sure that you guys are happy here and then give us that feedback.
I guess I'd say if you run across people, there's two things that we take pride in doing. One of those is helping you be better at what you do, to make you more successful at the career that you've chosen. So we're very focused on that and want that to happen. The other part of that is if somebody is at a success level that they're comfortable with and they like where they're at, The other side of our coin is how can we make it more efficient for you so that you can enjoy more things, do more things, that kind of stuff. You may not want to grow and be bigger. You may want to just find more balance in your life or find more things you can do and that kind of stuff. And those are the two things that we specialize in as a company. So if you know somebody that can use that, let us know.
Don has a question? Go ahead, Don.
I just have a comment. Mary and I know what it costs to provide staff, and there are not very many companies that have of this size that have 43 staff, and I commend you for that.
Okay, last question, and a really important one. What is your spirit animal?
I don't know. I'm a dog lover. I love dogs. I mean, I love all dogs. I love all animals. You know, I can get along with a cat, but you'll never probably see me have a cat. You know,
That's a good question.
if I would be that guy that lived alone, I'd have like 15 dogs. Like I have a, you know, they always say dogs meet you at heaven. If you ever see me there, hopefully, God willing, I'll be with like a pack of 20 dogs because I'll always own one or two, and there'll be everything from a little Chihuahua all the way up to a German Shepherd. I love them all sizes, all breeds. I'm a dog lover.
He's not lying either. I know there's actually a thing you can look up on this. I never looked up. I would say probably a lion. I can go into detail why later, but a lion.
I think
I'm doing a quiz that has 10 questions. Give me-
Take your time, Lance.
We'll take a couple of minutes so you can find out. I think for me it'd be more like a wolf. Because I can do things on my own.
Because you're hungry like a wolf?
I like to work.
Focus.
I like to work in a pack. I like to work in a group. So that would be one.
So basically a dog.
I thought for sure Lance was going to say sloth.
Why?
See?
Give me more time. I need 2 more answers.
We didn't got time for that.
Okay.
Just go.
A butterfly.
No. Taking the microphone away.
Butterfly, I'm telling you guys what my favorite animals are. So I love butterflies. They're so pretty. I love hummingbirds. Hummingbirds are like their wings fly so fast and they're in and out, so they can do things. I like lions. I'm a Leo. So there's a lot of characteristics of a lion. You know, the loyalty and the pride and the leadership. I'm a Chinese zodiac sign. I'm a horse. And that means that I get along with people, and I like to be a free spirit, and I like to run and roam around. Did that answer? I gave you 6. I mean, do we do 10? 10? Oh, I thought you said 10 spirit animals.
No.
Oh, definitely nothing sea-related or Croatian. Crustacean, not great. I love my Croatians. Crustaceans.
Take the mic away.
Definitely edit that.
Well, you can close this out.
Dad.
On that note, I think we are done. Do you have anything else, or just thanks for coming?
Oh, we have announcements.
Oh,
We do?
But before we do announcements, thank you all for coming. Thank you for being a part
Does
of the
Becca
company.
have announcements?
Yes, we do.
Again, we're always trying to make this the best place that it can be, and the best ideas come from you guys. So I hope you all feel like you have a relationship with us to give us those good ideas, and we're always have an open door. So we have time for each and every one of you. We hope you utilize that. Here comes Michelle Kelly to tell us who missed their education hours and who's no longer licensed with us.
Before then we let them take over, does anyone out here have questions?
Whoa.
Cool. Okay.
There we go.
Give me a second. Okay, go.
Ready? Yeah. I think a lot of people in this room could probably relate to this. The question I have is kind of related to what's your biggest fear? That always kind of didn't resonate with me. I'm a very driven person, very ambitious. I think a lot of people here probably are. But then I realized I do have a big fear. When I'm doing really well in my business, I feel like I'm failing at home. And when I'm doing really well at home, I feel like I could be doing more in my business. Yeah. And it's a constant feeling that it's never okay. And I know balance doesn't exist. That's a misnomer. But how do you deal with that?
I can help you with this. And balance does exist. but time time
Blocking.
equality does not exist.
Okay.
You have to trade one for the other. That's the 3:15 thing.
Okay.
I'm up at 3:15, but I'm home by 5:30 almost every night.
When do you sleep?
I only need 6 hours.
He hangs upside
10 o'clock.
down.
Yeah, snakes is my biggest fear. Snakes, large, slithery snakes. I have a fear of just failure, and that's what drives me. Like, if I feel like I'm not living up to my potential, and I probably have a higher esteem of myself than I should, but that fear of failure drives me all the time. Like, it makes me work relentlessly. I have a good family structure at home, and I have balance where, I'll work the weekends, and I'll work I'll try to set a couple nights a week really heavy, so the other nights I can be home and make dinner and do those things. So I do believe in balance too. It's just tricky, but I certainly get what you're coming from, and it's a constant effort to try to maintain that balance. Being a realtor is not easy for your spouse, because they realize, you're just working all these odd hours, and most people want your hours at night and in the weekend. So my advice would be to take one day during the weekend and make it heavy. If it's an 8 to 10 hour day, so be it. The next day you're off. Don't split it up into 4 hours, 5 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, and the whole weekend's gone. If you can do that. And then the same thing with the week. Try to make 2 nights really heavy, and the rest of the nights, you're off. And then if you get to the point where you're just being pulled in all directions, maybe it's time to sit with Shane, like he did with me when I was burnt out and working all the time. And he's like, listen, you're kind of being an ass to be around. That was basically what he said. He goes,
True story.
It's true story. And he's like, we've got to figure out how to help you delegate your time so you can, and that was a big moment for me. If you're at that point, Shane's your guy.
Definitely, Jacqueline, we'd love to help you with that work-life balance. Time blocking is critical for all of us, right? And the one thing, there's excuses, and that's one thing I don't love excuses. I hate excuses. And people say, I don't have enough time for this, I don't have enough time for that. But when you look at every single hour, minute, second, moment of the day, and you prioritize your day and you time block, next thing you know it's vital. It's a direct income producing activity or a personal activity that you need to be at. I don't miss any kids' conferences or games or activities. Those are set in stone. But back to the fear of failure, I've heard that a few different times up here. I thrive on taking risks, and I shouldn't say I love failing, but I appreciate failing when I do fail, because when you're doing things great and life is good, we don't really grow as much as when we make those mistakes, when we've put it all out there, put everything on the line, and we fail and we stumble. The good news is we can get right back up. But my number one fear, I will tell you, this makes me, I do unfortunately think about this every day, is just dying too young and leaving my kids and my wife without me. So every single day I'm trying to, stay alive.
Yeah, I'm thinking about dying too young as well. But anyway, I say for your particular question is just prioritize. That's the main thing in your life, is prioritize. Figure out what's important and put that in front. That's it.
Okay, Tony had a question.
Tony had a question.
Yeah, it's a quick one. What's your nightly routine?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it varies a little bit depending on the time of the year. Where right now my kids are heavy into sports, so hockey unfortunately lives my life most of the night. So right now I'm usually up in Ames till 8:30 or so, get home, son showered, help get him to bed, then I sit with the dogs for a little bit, that way they're not in their kennel too long. I had to do this, and this will help again with the negativity and stuff. I shut up, my phone goes on automatic, do not disturb at 10 o'clock. I have to put it in my closet, because like most, I am addicted to it. I see it flashing, I will respond. So I get it away from me, and then I try as hard as possible to stay awake long enough to talk with my wife for at least 15 to 30 minutes about what's going on in the day or what we're got coming up and stuff. So that, for those like your challenges that you have, keeping it balanced, that is an important part. Your spouse has to know that they're important, and you do that by sharing your life with them. Because at the end of the day, if I try to talk to my wife about just real estate, she's like, I've heard this crap before, I don't need to hear anymore. So.
Not much for my nightly routine either. I make dinner a lot. I like to cook, so I make my family dinner a lot.
If you've never had him cook, you need to.
I'd love to for you guys. It's kind of a thing of mine. I think if I wasn't doing this, I'd probably be in a kitchen somewhere. But I get my kids down, I get them to school, but I get them down, I get them in the bath, I wind down. My wife goes to bed early, so that's kind of nice, actually. Laker games are on late, so I watch the Laker games. And then the kids go to bed at 9:30, and that's like the next 2 hours is my time just to like be with my dog and myself. And the lights are all off.
Wife's nowhere around.
And then the wife's nowhere around. And it's just our little cuddle time. And yeah, that's probably my nightly routine is that last 2 hours to myself, and I start writing the next days what I want to accomplish the next day.
And one thing too that I try to do, and it's hard, is I have a 15-year-old teenage daughter, and I am fortunate she tells me a lot of things that most daughters would not tell their dad, because I would hurt people, but I promised her I wouldn't. But trying to connect with her at that time, because that's usually the only time she has it down, because she's involved in a lot too, is just talk with her on what's going on in her life, because again, with social media, people are mean in general, and I tell her all the time, don't engage in drama, and my wife's quote is, don't stoop to stupid, and so we talk a lot about that stuff.
My nightly routine, I've kind of got two parts of my nightly routine. One is more so my end of business day routine, and that's always reviewing the day. Like, I look at all my call logs, calls that came in, calls that I missed, calls that went out. Same thing with text messages and emails. And so just making sure that I didn't forget to write something down or to do something based off of a conversation I had with somebody. And then also I always look at my next day's calendar and make sure that I'm fully prepared. So if I have meetings, I have, anything that I need to have printed off, the file is right on top of my laptop, or that the project is on my desktop ready to go that next day. So I definitely do everything I can to prepare for that next day, and then make sure I didn't drop the ball on anything that I was supposed to do throughout the day. And then I turn off, and just focus on the kids and focus on my wife. I try to turn off and just give them my undivided attention. But there are times where you can kind of still delegate. I don't need to sit through and watch or listen to 100% of the words on High School Musical. So, I'm there with them, cuddling, but I can still work. So I've found out a way to delegate and multitask, even though I'm hanging out with my kids. Is it?
Lance doesn't sleep.
Lance just passes out. Donna checks him, make sure he can still fog a mirror. And, that's fun.
Yeah.
Okay, I just wanted to give out some reminders of some of the upcoming dates. Let's see, the next thing we have a DMAR banquet. Make sure you get your tickets for that. That is Friday, December 24th. We have people in, I'm sorry, not December, holy cow, January 24th, just a couple weeks away, so you can still get your tickets for that. Then the next thing, we'll have a breakfast the first Thursday in February. Then we will have our works party, which will be starting, we're working on the planning and all that for that, so it's always a great time. Friday, February 21st, so mark your calendars on that. We'll be sending out stuff coming up to start RSVPing for that. Right after that is R4, that following week. So we have, what did you say, we had at least 10 to 12 signed up already?
We have 12 signed up right now.
That we know of, people who have told us they've signed up. We always have a good group.
I've seen the list.
It's a lot of fun, so, yeah.
And
a lot of other people have said they were going to, just haven't yet, so.
I think early bird, there's like 4 more days for early bird or something like that.
I think it's this week, for early bird. Then finally, we have a lot of stuff on the calendar for Q1 training, so I'm gonna let Michelle talk about that.
We've got quite a few things coming up. First thing, make sure that you did sign in. The sheets are all over the tables. You do get one CEU for our broker tips today. If you know anybody who's looking to get their real estate license, we are teaching the night and weekend courses starting tomorrow. So those are Friday night, Saturday courses. So if you talk to somebody who'd really love to get their real estate license, or if you have an assistant who needs to get their license, please direct them to us. We are, state qualified and all of that, and we're a whole lot of fun.
And what is the cost of that?
Each class is $100, and so we do the 3 12-hour classes. So the next 3 weekends, the state charges $140, we charge $100, so we're pretty reasonable and a good time. So, but I do want to point out some really great courses that we have coming up. So depending on where you're at in your business, what you want from your business, we pull the instructors, we've got the brokers coming up, we pull in outside instructors. We've got an RPR training coming up by popular request, which is Joe Teeter, their national trainer, who will be doing that. We have, is doing the coaching, the 20% plus coaching, and those will be on Mondays. We have our tech classes that are always happening monthly, so you'll find those every month. We're doing Tech Tuesday. So if you just need some questions answered, you have something that you're working on, you can just come, spend that time, get your questions answered. Becca and myself are both there, so we can help you through all of that. The social series is continuing. Marketing has been doing that. We did Canva yesterday, and I think Facebook is the next one that's coming up on that. And then we've got an appraiser coming in, so if you need some help with CMAs, that's coming up. Trying to see what else we have. Oh, and then the website series will start February 5th. And so, excuse me, if you want to work on your personal website, we've got that chunked into 3 sections so that you can come and just kind of supersize your website and get the most out of it, because you've got it provided for you. It's a great tool, and you might as well maximize having it. And Becca teaches those, and we do workshops in between to help as well. So go to conceptsreschool.com to register for all of those. And if you just need anything, reach out. Michelle K at realestateconcepts.net.
One last thing I thought of, and you might have already seen it posted on Facebook this morning, but this year is the 20-year reunion, or 20-year anniversary of RE/MAX Concepts. So it's 20 in 2020. How cool is that? Credit to our marketing department for coming up with that. But yeah, so 20 in 2020. Kind of a cool concept for the year, and hope we can bring a lot of cool things this year. So you guys want to add anything on there?
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everybody.